Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on? Welcome to the Messy Sweet Spot. When I tell you, guess who's speaking out about Shannon Sharpe? You guys know everybody and their mama has something to say about Shannon Sharpe, especially the comedians. I mean, we heard from Eddie Griffin. We heard from Mike Epps. I mean, who have we not heard from? We heard from Steve Harvey. We heard from all of them. And they do not like Shannon Sharpe, honey, okay? Now, Dave Chappelle, I was surprised. I said, what? They are saying Dave Chappelle, he is breaking his silence and he is speaking out about the Shannon Sharpe situation. And they're saying what he's saying in this video, you guys are going to be shocked, okay? So you guys, we have to watch this video in its entirety. Let's react to it. If you're new here, make sure you have subscribed here at the Messy Sweet Spot. I'm your host, Gigi with the T. Now, some people out here calling me Miss Messy, but I ain't nothing but sweet, damn near delicious, if you're asking me. All right, so make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here, and let's react. Let's see what's really going on in these streets and what Dave Chappelle got to say about all this. I want to know what Dave Chappelle.
This just in, the Texas attorney who targeted Sean Diddy Combs with dozens of civil lawsuits on behalf of John and Jane Doe's allegedly victimized by the music mogul has a new target in his sights. NFL legend Shannon Sharpe.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzz.
My career, it has happened many, many times since where someone would intimidate me or scare me and take something that I believe was mine. Get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
So Dave Chappelle just jumped into the wild mess between Shannon Sharpe and Tony Busby, and he's dropping hints that this lawsuit against Shannon ain't what it looks like. According to Dave and some folks deep in the game, this whole thing feels like a setup to break Shannon down and remind him who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes. Check this out. Shannon's been blowing up lately. His show, Club Shay Shay, has been giving real ones like Cat Williams, Monique, and others a space to air out Hollywood's shady little secrets. And just when Shannon's about to lock in a $100 million bag, boom, this lawsuit drops out of nowhere. Now, Dave's out here saying this timing ain't no accident. Word is, people close to Dave claim he tried to warn Shannon this was coming, especially after that Cat Williams interview broke YouTube. Biggest interview ever. Dave's thinking this lawsuit is a straight-up warning shot, like the kind of move the powers that be make when a black man starts getting too much juice and pulling the curtains back on their dirty laundry. But hold up, Tony Busby ain't backing down either. He's clapping back, saying Shannon's people already tried to slide $10 million to the alleged victim to hush things up. And Shannon even owned up to that. So now the streets are asking if Shannon's clean, why drop that kind of cash to make it go away? And now the craziest part, there's an audio out there where Shannon's straight up threatening to choke the ish out of the alleged victim.
Most would have to run the streets for years to learn a lesson that profound. It took me 2 seconds. Never get between somebody and their paper.
Like, what is really happening here? Did Shannon cross the line and now he's trying to play the "they're coming for a black man" card? Or is Dave Chappelle spot on? And this whole thing is just a sneaky industry hit job to take Shannon down. Let's dig into the dirt. Here's the rundown on this wild lawsuit. On Sunday, April 20th, news dropped that some woman, she's staying anonymous as Jane Doe, filed a serious lawsuit against Shannon in Nevada. She's accusing him of doing some real dark stuff during a relationship that supposedly started after they met in a gym out in LA back in 2023. And guess who's got her back? Houston lawyer Tony Busby, the same dude who's been all over the media filing lawsuits left and right, and even went after Jay-Z, though that didn't go too far. So in her lawsuit, Jane Doe is claiming Shannon did all kinds of foul things to her in their short fling. According to her, Shannon, who's 56 now, first started messing with her when she was just 19. She says he chased her hard, wouldn't leave her alone, and then things got real ugly. The complaint says Shannon treated her like some kind of toy, choked her, threatened to take her out, recorded their private moments, and showed them off without her even knowing. And get this, she's saying Shannon told her he wanted to mess her up so bad, no other man would ever want her. But it doesn't stop there. The lawsuit says Shannon even figured out how to sneak into Jane Doe's apartment complex without her saying he could. And then it gets even more insane. Jane Doe described one terrifying moment where Shannon totally lost it on her, with a gun in plain sight. The lawsuit says she was scared out of her mind. She tried to share her location with her friends from her phone, just in case things went bad, but Shannon caught her. The second he saw what she was doing, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and snapped, "If you ever do that again, I will fin kick you." That's some serious stuff right there. And there's more. Remember that IG Live mess? The lawsuit brings up an incident where Shannon supposedly leaked a private moment with another woman named Michelle on Instagram Live in September 2024. Now, Michelle's not the same woman suing him, but Jane Doe says seeing that shook her up bad. She claims it left her emotionally wrecked and scared for her health, thinking about STDs and everything. After that whole IG Live with Michelle, Jane Doe says she tried to cut ties with Shannon, but he wouldn't let her go. According to her, things got even darker. On October 6th, 2024, she claims Shannon forced her into oral sex, holding her down while she cried, and it didn't stop there.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you.
She's saying he then raped her. And if that wasn't enough, the complaint details another violent moment on January 2nd, 2025. Jane Doe says Shannon made her perform oral sex again for about 2 minutes, and then he assaulted her again for around 10 minutes, until he finished. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe says she was crying, begging Shannon over and over to stop, but he didn't. The suit paints Shannon Sharpe as more than just a sports legend. It calls him something much darker. It straight up claims he's a narcissist who's been using his fame, money, and power to control, exploit, and violate women for years. Now, with this lawsuit, Jane Doe says she's ready to put an end to all of it. She's not holding back. She's asking for a jury trial and hitting him for $50 million in damages. Shannon's first reaction? He didn't stay quiet. He clapped back with a statement through his lawyer, Lanny Davis, on social media, and he dropped Jane Doe's real name, Gabriela Zuniga. Turns out, Zuniga's no stranger to the spotlight either. She's got a following on OnlyFans and Instagram under the name @SheIsCarly. In his statement, Shannon's lawyer brought up some alleged text messages between Shannon and Zuniga, claiming these texts proved their relationship was totally consensual. But here's the catch. No screenshots were shared, just quotes from the messages. According to Shannon's team, Zuniga sent Shannon some wild stuff, like asking him to choke her with a dog collar and even saying she wanted him to get her pregnant. Shannon's lawyer didn't hold back either, saying this whole lawsuit is just a blatant and cynical attempt to squeeze Shannon for millions. He's calling it all lies, distortions, and straight up fake, and he's confident it won't hold up. As for that audio clip where Shannon's threatening to choke her, his lawyer says Zuniga edited it on purpose to make what he claims was a consensual moment sound like something else. Now, according to Shannon's lawyer, everything that went down between Shannon and Zuniga was just part of a consensual adult relationship. They're saying it was all role play with wild language and fantasy stuff that Zuniga asked for. Shannon's lawyer is standing firm, saying Shannon completely denies any claims of forcing or hurting her, especially the serious charge of rape. He's calling it all a straight-up blackmail move and says he's not giving in to this kind of setup. Shannon didn't stop there, though. He went online and dropped a video calling the whole lawsuit a shakedown. He even took aim at Tony Busby, accusing him of going after black men, pointing out how Busby also tried to sue Jay-Z not too long ago. Shannon says Busby's just out here playing the media, trying to twist the story. And Shannon made it clear he's planning to sue both Busby and Zuniga for defamation. But yo, here's where things get even messier. Shannon's lawyer had to come clean and admit that earlier this year, Shannon actually did offer Zuniga $10 million to make all this disappear. So now people are really side-eyeing this situation. Like, how's Shannon calling her a liar, but at the same time offering her $10 million to stay quiet?
Shannon Sharpe tried to make the whole thing go away with $10 million, but y'all, it didn't work. His legal team just confirmed that he offered his accuser at least $10 million during private mediation talks before she hit him with that $50 million sexual lawsuit.
If none of it's true, why not just take her to court right away and slap her with that defamation case instead of trying to buy silence. And Tony Busby, he wasn't letting that slide either. He hit back on Instagram, defending his client, saying, on the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is a true statement. Jane Doe was offered that $10 million bag to settle, but she turned it down cold. Instead, she's going all in, taking this fight to court. Now Shannon's team is flipping the script, trying to discredit her and even dox her. And like clockwork, Shannon and his crew are coming after Tony Busby too, just like he said they would. But Busby's standing his ground. He says they ain't backing down, no matter how ugly it gets. And just when you thought this whole mess couldn't get any crazier, it's really heating up. Because now Dave Chappelle's name is getting thrown right into the mix.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No,
Not
exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Word is, people close to Dave are saying he tried to put Shannon on game, warning him that something like this was bound to happen. Why? Because Shannon was out here giving the mic to folks like Cat Williams, people who aren't scared to drag some of the biggest, most powerful names in the industry into the light. Apparently, Dave told him straight up, they don't like it when you start shaking the table and acting like you run the place.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to kill me.
And fans, they're not missing a beat either. They're saying the timing of this lawsuit is real shady. It hit just when rumors were flying that Shannon was about to lock down a $100 million media deal. And you know how Dave already said it? These big money deals always come with strings attached. And if you don't play the game their way, they'll pull that rug out from under you fast. But here's where things take another crazy twist, because now folks are starting to dig deeper into who benefits from all this chaos. Some are saying this whole situation feels like a setup to keep Shannon in check, right when he was leveling up big time. Think about it. Shannon was finally stepping into that major player zone, getting bags, building a voice, and talking with people who don't follow the industry's script. And suddenly, boom, a scandal that could ruin it all. Now fans are split. Some are riding hard for Shannon, saying he's being targeted because he got too bold, too fast. They believe this is about power, and Shannon's just the latest example of what happens when a black man starts making moves without asking permission. But others, they're side-eyeing Shannon big time, wondering if there's truth behind Jane Doe's claims, and if he's really the man he's been pretending to be on screen. Meanwhile, social media is blowing up. People are dragging every little detail, old interviews, clips, tweets, trying to figure out what's real and what's smoke. And guess what? Dave Chappelle still ain't speaking directly on it, but the streets are loud with talk that he's watching it all unfold, just like he predicted. And now, as the pressure keeps building, Shannon's every move is under the spotlight. Media outlets are digging into his past, looking for anything that could back up Jane Doe's claims or blow holes in them. Folks are pulling out receipts from past relationships, old interviews, and even how he's talked about women on his show. Some are saying, yo, Shannon's been showing us who he really is for years, we just didn't want to see it. But others are calling foul on the whole thing, saying it's way too convenient. Like, why now? Why right when Shannon's name is buzzing, his show's blowing up, and he's standing on the edge of a $100 million empire? Some fans are shouting, they're trying to tear him down because he won't play by their rules. And honestly, with Dave Chappelle's past warnings still ringing in people's ears, a lot are starting to believe it might just be true. Meanwhile, Tony Busby's adding fuel to the fire, saying more evidence is coming, and it's going to make the picture even clearer. He's not backing off, and neither is Jane Doe. Shannon, on the other hand, is doubling down, saying he's ready to fight back hard, not just in court, but in the public eye, too. And just when you thought the flames couldn't get any hotter, here comes talk that more women might step forward. Word on the street is A few people close to the situation are saying this might not be an isolated case. Rumors are flying that others who've had run-ins with Shannon in the past are watching closely, and they might be ready to tell their stories too. People are already asking, if even one more person comes forward, what's that going to mean for Shannon? Right now, it's one woman's word against his. But if more voices jump in, it could be a total game changer. And let's be real, the industry loves to act like they don't see anything until the noise gets too loud to ignore. Meanwhile, Shannon's team is scrambling to keep control of the narrative. They're pushing hard to show Shannon as the victim of a smear campaign, trying to frame this as a power play to bring him down just as he was rising up. But with every new twist, it's getting harder for anyone to know who's telling the truth. Fans are torn. Some are still riding with Shannon, saying it's all lies meant to block him from breaking into that elite media circle. Others are waiting to see if this is just the beginning of a bigger storm. But, on the flip side, some fans ain't buying any of these excuses. They're saying even if all these allegations turn out to be false, Shannon still moved foul. Like seriously, being 56 and messing with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model, that's wild behavior. One user on X said, Shannon Sharpe is a 50-plus-year-old man. That girl was 19 when they met in 2023, younger than his youngest kid. He's a mess, and I don't feel bad for him. He had no business doing that. And someone else chimed in with, a lack of sexual discipline will really have you out here looking crazy. They even pointed out, Shannon Sharpe was born during Jim Crow and was paying for race play from a white woman born after Chris Paul was drafted. He looks insane on several levels. People are not holding back. But what do you think? Is Shannon really getting targeted by those powerful folks Dave Chappelle warned about? Or is he just trying to flip the script now that he's caught up in the mess? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want more of the real breakdowns.